That was beautiful. One more time, give it up for Miss West Virginia. All right, so staying on task. Not going to say anything extra. I want to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening. Our keynote speaker is Mr. Joshua Barker. He is the director of Substance Abuse Prevention and Outreach, West Virginia Attorney General's Office. Make some noise for Mr. Joshua Barker.
Good evening. I have to make a few notes. That doesn't mean I'm going to speak longer. I'm in recovery, so my mind doesn't work as fast as everyone that's not. To understand what I'm doing, you have to understand me. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm an All-American kid. Played football, baseball in high school, went on to Marshall University, played football at Marshall University in the late 90s, early 2000s with guys like Chad Pennington, and come back to my hometown after going to college and became a high school football coach for several years, very successful. After that, I decided to throw my hat in the ring for politics. Served a term in our state legislature. In that time, I was also a city manager at a local municipality in the southern part of the state. Served on numerous boards. I've done a lot of stuff in my life. Worked for the West Virginia State Auditor for the last 8 years as a legislative liaison. And done some other things. But in that time, in 2013 or 14, I got prescribed prescription drugs. And over time, it escalated. Fast forward to 2020. In 2020, I filed to run for county commission in Boone County, West Virginia. And I was in full active addiction. Fast forward a week after I filed, my father fell over dead with a heart attack. My mother, become the caregiver of my mother, and she passed away there shortly after, along with my best friend. And that was during COVID. I went from taking 10 to 15 pills a week to taking 40 to 50 pills a day, along with anything else that I could get my hands on. In that time, I was in the middle of running for office. On November the 7th of 2020 in Boone County, West Virginia, 5,700 people voted for a drug addict. And they say, well, they didn't know. Guess what? I didn't either. I had no clue. So we fast forward 2 years. I'm strung out. You know, COVID's going on. Nobody really knows how bad my addiction is. So my wife, I want to introduce her. My wife, Jill, come up with me. And Jill was running for the House of Delegates on a bet, basically, that I told her she couldn't win. And about 2 days before the election, I thought I had got my hands on some Xanax, and it was pure fentanyl, and I overdosed. I was also the president of the Boone County Ambulance Service, and those same EMTs and paramedics had to come in my own house in Narcan. It was the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. The next day is the day before her election. I get up and do it again. Within a 24-hour period, I was Narcan somewhere a total of about 14 times. I spent almost a week on a ventilator where they told me that there was no hope. There was one man that seemed different. And I'm still here. I don't question why I'm here. I'm very involved in AA, and I don't question the good things that's happening in my life. So, Narcan didn't work the second time, and I'm on a ventilator. When I come to on that ventilator, a nurse told me, said, Mr. Barker, you have overdosed on fentanyl, and you're at Charleston Memorial Hospital, and you've been on a ventilator. The only thing that I could think of was, oh crap, the gig is up now. So, I really didn't decide, it was basically decided for me I would go to treatment. I ended up at Harmony Ridge Recovery Center in Walker, West Virginia, right outside of Parkersburg, and it was the best decision that I ever made in my entire life. Harmony Ridge has given me so much in my life in the last 3 years. My wife was working in education for the last 25 years, everything from a principal to the special ed director of Logan County Schools. And she, a couple of months ago, went to work for them because they changed all of us. And it's a very special place to me. So, I get out of rehab, and my life has totally changed. So the last 3 years, my boss comes to me and he's like, you know, we're going to let you keep your job. And I worked from home. I wasn't involved. Then JB come to me after he won the primary last year. And, he asked me if I would be his drug guy. I've got this big long job title, but I'm just in the business of helping people that are trying to get in recovery and people trying to stay in recovery. That's my goal. But to say a little bit about him, we are very lucky to have J.B. McCuskey as our Attorney General. The things that he's done for me in my recovery are second to none. I would not be here today if it wasn't for him. He has a vision for the future for people like me and you, and it's pretty awesome to be a part of it. Sorry, I get a little choked up talking about him. But I don't want to get real windy. You know, I did have a pretty long ride up today. But if I could give you any advice, people say, well, and I want to say this too. Next Saturday, I will celebrate 3 years in recovery, and I can't wait. People say, well, he's got this big job in state government, and he's only got 3 years sobriety. Let me tell you something. The only chip that matters is that 24-hour chip, because in 48 hours, something special might happen to all of us. You know? The promises are real, as they say in AA. And they are. I'm living proof of it. But I want to close with this. Everybody that's ever been successful, whether it's recovery, business, athletics, someone give them an opportunity. So I'm going to challenge you guys, no matter what situation you're in, the opportunity that you might give someone tonight or tomorrow might change their lives forever. Thanks for having me.